Today's video under commerce is a topic talking about financing business, and under the financing business I'm going to be talking about profit. That's how to calculate profit, turnover and capital, but this video is going to be limited to profit only, which I'm going to be discussing on commerce. Okay, so when we look at profit, we said profit is the financial benefit or gain which a firm realizes from its transactions and business dealings, and we have different view of how profit is. So we can have according to the accountant, and we can also have according to the economist. And when we look at the accountant, profit is a difference or the excess of income over expenditure, while to the economist, profit is the reward of an entrepreneur. And we also have the types of profit, which is the gross profit and the net profit. When we look at the gross profit, it is the excess of turnover, and turnover is also known as sales over cost of goods sold. Don't forget, cost of goods sold is also known as cost price, and we have the formula to calculate the gross profit. We have to know that gross profit is calculated by subtracting the cost of goods sold, which is the cost price, from the sales. Please don't forget that sales is also known as turnover in that place, or you can call it selling price. Now, in order to get cost of goods sold, we have to note that we have to add opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock to get cost of goods sold, in order to get the gross profit. And when we look at the second one, which is the net profit, we said it is excess of gross profit over the expenses, and that is calculated by saying the net profit equals gross profit minus expenses. Let's look at a practical question on that. Illustration 1, we're given opening stock to be 40,000 naira, purchases 115,000 naira, closing stock 60,000 naira, sales 250,000 naira. The question says, what is the cost of goods sold? And we have the options, option A, B, C, and D. Okay, now the question asks us to find the cost of goods sold. Now, to find the cost of goods sold, we are to remember that we can get that by adding the opening stock plus the purchases minus the closing stock, and we have the variables in this place. So the cost of goods sold, equals opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. If we remember this formula, we can solve what we want to solve. Now, the cost of goods sold is now equal to our opening stock from the question is 40,000 naira, so we have it as 40,000 plus purchases, which is 115,000, then minus closing stock, which is 60,000. So 40,000 plus 115,000 will be giving us 55,000. Then minus 60,000, we are going to be having 95,000 as the value of cost of goods sold, which is option B. Now let's look at another question on that. Illustration 2. For illustration 2, we have use the information to answer the question. And we have the naira, we have the sales, we have the debtors, we have cash in hand, opening stock, we have creditors, purchases, we have overdrafts, we have closing stock, and we have the figures. This is 50,000, this is 10,000, this is 5,000, 30,000, 8,000, 16,000, 12,000 and this is 10,000. Now the questions wants us to calculate